No, not really. Not really my type of chapter, this one. Just some full of despair, another arrogant fairy, well, fairy, elf, and more despair incoming. That's basically what I feel about this chapter of Black Clover 179. With the fight against the no, with the Silver siblings fights over, we are switched to the House of Vermilions, where Mimosa and her Vane brother, together with the fungus guy, tries to cloud the visions of the rampaging elves in order to save their servants and people. And we also see that arrogant Earth guy that worshipped William. He is also an elf, but that was not surprising. It's definitely clear by now that for some strange reason, Mimosa was the only one who wasn't an elf. And when I say strange reason, it's because, I mean, uh, everyone else was an elf. So I just wonder what made her be chosen to the Golden Dawn. We'll jump into this chapter as we'll try to explain this. For first, this is did I introduce myself, the Angry Anime Fan in the Black Clover chapter 179. Either way, Kirsch is being arrogant, although Mimosa doesn't really like that. But they're cooperating by using the fungus to create a distraction together with the Sakura bloom. But then one elf actually managed to find them in all this mist. It's that arrogant looking one with the very happy face. It's not exactly known what happens, but well, his Golden Dawn name was David, but now he is reincarnated as Baval. And he begins to cheerfully talk about how much humans are gonna die now. He's actually trying to. I mean, it's not that he is actually giving the humans a chance, he never gives humans a chance. But it's like he's saying that give up and die right here and now, because even if you do win, which you will not, then despair will happen. Because he's pointing out that Lich and the other ones are heading this way. And according to them, according to him at least, the ones on that is way more powerful than the others. Is that meant to include the? I mean, Raya and Lich are probably in a league of their own, but I do wonder. Of course, Mimosa refuses to fight, but then Baval is pointing out that if the king dies, everything else dies, and they all try to fight, but they cannot win against the against the reincarnated elf that is Langris, who tries to fight. No, the king tries to fight, but of course, Langris's parents are just in shock of all of this. Well, that's what happens when you realize something. So the king is revealed to also be a magic user, has an arrogant magic called Light Magic, Absolute Monarch. Actually, I find it pretty strange. The king has light magic, and it was light magic that killed the elves to begin with. Am I noticing a pattern here? Who knows? But of course, fair elf Langris destroys it immediately. Uh, as suddenly the girl that Langris was supposed to engage to hugs him and begs him to stop. But of course, elf Langris throws him away, but gets saved just in the nick of time by Finral. I have to say that is a pretty cute scene of it all. However, the two captains appear, as they all being their cocky selves. They try to attack Langris, but unfortunately his magic is now so powerful that he has basically created a shield around himself that will practically erase everything that come at him. And well, luckily Jamie and Jack managed to escape that unharmed, but I can't say the same for their cigarette and their scythe. The only real as the arrogant why am I saying fairy when I mean elf? I guess I have fairy on the brain. Elf Rangus arrogantly tells them to come at him and entertain him. But it's worth noting that the one and only good thing about this chapter for me is the final picture of Jamie and Jack. They are not having faces of despair at all. Instead, they are saying, "This is going to be good." So, well, either way, it's revealed that the king does indeed have magic, and it's light. Again, is there a connection between him and the real culprit on who killed the elves? Because I'm still not 100% sure if it was the first Sorcerer's Emperor. I mean, it was definitely a human, and even if it wasn't the first Sorcerer's Emperor, we can all agree that it's not gonna be a pretty truth of it all. But he has light magic. There is definitely a connection over there. Seeing Langrid's parents just made me more sick to my stomach. Of course, they are still denying that Rangus would do something like this, but well, if they only knew the truth. It's Finesse, that sick girl, that is the real hero of it all. She tried to calm him down, but of course that didn't work. Uh, but who will defeat Rangus is the fact that not even is the fact that Elf Langris space magic is basically now like a shield, meaning no one can touch him. But the captains are not being afraid at all. So I really hope they can defeat him, or at least Finral can, so they can just wake up that asshole. As I said before, this chapter was not to my 100% liking. Too much despair, and that duel, elf, Dave, not Buval or whatever his name was, Bavel. What kind of magic does he have to erase it all? It's also is worth pointing out, and I'm now going to back to something I said at the beginning. Every single Golden Dawn appears to be an elf, and so far it actually confirmed that that is true, and that's not so surprising. William was Patrolli, and Patrolli very likely influenced William's actions to recruit those he knew were reincarnated as elves. But it still doesn't answer the question of then why was Mimosa in the Golden Dawn? Just because she wasn't noble? It's worth noting that Mimosa looks almost like Tata, which was supposed to be Lich's bride. Maybe that is the real reason why she was in the Golden Dawn. Because Patrolli wanted to kill her. Who cares? Who knows? All I know is that Spare gets more closer. That flying ship castle of theirs is moving incredibly slow. Is that just meant to further foreshadow the despair? Either way, that's basically the chapter. Despair, despair, despair. Only the final part of it I liked. Give me your thoughts if you have any.